On a cold December night in 2011, 13-year-old Erica Parsons, her parents told everyone she had gone to live with her biological grandmother. But something about their story didn't add up. As investigators began to ask questions, strange details began to emerge. Mysteries involving bruises, missing time, and a plastic bag that couldn't be ignored. What really happened to Erica, and why did it take years for the truth to emerge? This is the heartbreaking story of a girl who was silenced, but whose story refused to be buried. A girl who was silenced, but whose story refused to stay buried. Music. Erica Lynn Parsons entered the world on February 28, 1998. Born to Carolyn Parsons at just 4 pounds 7 ounces, Erica was a tiny but spirited baby. But Carolyn faced a heartbreaking decision just days after Erica's birth. Financially unable to provide for her, Carolyn chose adoption, hoping to secure a brighter future for her daughter. Erica's biological father was absent, but Carolyn's former brother-in-law and sister-in-law Carolyn had grown up in foster care and dreamed of something better for Erica. At just 4 weeks old, Erica joined the Parsons household and became part of their growing family. The adoption was officially finalized in 2000, although Sandy later claimed it happened in July rather than March. Casey Parsons fondly recalled those early days. "We had her from 4 weeks old. By the time the adoption was finalized, she was calling us Mom and Dad. We were the only parents she knew." Sandy and Casey had their own turbulent history, marrying sometime in the early 1990s and welcoming 3 biological children. Sandy Jr. in 1992, James in 1993, and Brooke in 1994. James in 1993 and Brooke in 1995. But reports of domestic violence plagued their marriage. Sandy was convicted of assaulting Casey in both 1994 and 1997 and sentenced to probation and community service, but they remained together and their household grew with the addition of Erica in 2001. Advertising online, she contacted Amy Miller, who hired her to carry a child. The arrangement began promisingly, but it quickly unraveled. 6 weeks into the pregnancy, Casey informed Amy of a miscarriage, only to cut off communication altogether. Legal threats from other prospective adoptive parents and an FBI investigation forced Casey to relinquish the child after birth, raising serious questions about her motives as a surrogate. Meanwhile, concerns about Erica's safety emerged in 2002. When Erica was just 2 years old, these suspicions added to the growing unease surrounding the family's treatment of their adopted daughter. The Department of Social Services launched an investigation into claims that Erica Parsons had been physically abused. A report alleged that Casey Parsons often carried a belt and used it to discipline Erica, leaving bruises. The report described marks on Erica's buttocks, the back of her leg, and the side of her face. It also claimed that Erica had sometimes refused to eat and that Casey had told her he didn't love her. Erica did not appear to be afraid of her parents and even sat on their laps without hesitation. No visible injuries such as cuts or bruises were found during the investigation, but it was noted that Erica was very small for her age, weighing only 41 pounds at 4 years old. On March 1, 2003, Casey traveled to Mexico for a medical procedure to reverse her tubal ligation. Later that year, in August, Erica enrolled in Boston Elementary School, where staff remembered her as a shy but sweet child who smiled often and loved stickers. One teacher recalled how Erica would brush her bangs out of her eyes when she felt anxious and beam with pride when praised. In January 2004, Casey announced in an online post that she was pregnant with a due date in September of that year. This complaint alleged that Erica was frail, that Casey no longer wanted her, and that the parents had tried to give her away. Casey and Sandy then denied using corporal punishment, explaining that they raised their voices rather than hitting their children. When social services interviewed Erica alone, she described her discipline as timeouts or loss of privileges. She said she might get spanked if she did something very bad. Erica seemed happy and well-behaved. The Department of Social Services required the Parsons to seek medical attention if Erica's feeding problems persisted or her development lagged despite this neglect. As Erica didn't receive the necessary medical attention, she was placed with an aunt who observed that while living with her aunt, Erica began to eat, play, and gain weight. She also confided that Casey and Sandy had physically disciplined her. However, the aunt did not seek legal custody, and after 8 months, Casey and Sandy regained custody of Erica. In 2004, Erica transferred to another primary school and was placed with a foster mother. On August 20th, Casey gave birth to a daughter. By 2005, Casey was pregnant again, but reported an early miscarriage. She then started a business called Carolina Tailwaggers, which some sources described as a Chihuahua puppy mill, although details remain sparse. Later that year, Erica began homeschooling through the Parson Christian Homeschool, a program Casey created at her home. Casey was listed as the principal of the school, and in January 2005, Erica and Sandy were married. Casey was listed as the principal administrator, and the state did not conduct background checks or require detailed progress reports from the school. Records show that it enrolled 3 female students and 1 male, but there were no submissions of annual achievement test scores from 2005 onward. Information about Erica became scarce. Then on July 30, 2013, Erica's then 19-year-old brother, Jason, died. He told officers that his parents had told him in December 2011 that Erica had gone to visit her biological grandmother. Jamie explained that he had always found the story odd, especially as his father, Sandy, had seemed unusually distressed when discussing Erica's absence. Jim's thoughts turned to the last time he had seen Erica, when she was 13 years old and seemed unwell. Jamie recalled that she looked gray and exhausted. She allegedly told Casey that she couldn't breathe, but Casey dismissed her and told her to go back to the corner. The next morning, Jamie woke up and Erica was gone. When he asked his parents about her, they claimed that they had taken Erica to Asheville, North Carolina, to live with her biological mother. Jamie told the authorities that this was the last he had heard of Erica. An investigation into Erica's disappearance was immediately launched. Detectives searched the Parsons home thoroughly, pulling up floorboards, searching the yard for signs of secret graves and following every lead. But despite their best efforts, Erica's whereabouts remained unknown. Despite their best efforts, Erica's whereabouts remained a mystery. Tips and reports poured in, including alleged roadside sightings of Erica and calls from psychics, but none led to concrete answers. The FBI joined the search, offering rewards and attracting national attention. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children created an age progression photo of Erica, transforming a picture of her at age 9 into what she might look like at age 15. As if she were 15, these photos were widely circulated on billboards in the hope of generating new leads. Erica, Casey, and Sandy claimed to investigators that they had last seen Erica in December 2011 at a McDonald's in Murraysville, North Carolina. They said they had taken Erica to meet her biological grandmother, who the Parsons said had contacted them on Facebook. The investigators also found that Casey and Sandy could not provide any contact information for Erica's grandmother, not even the Facebook profile they claimed she had used to contact them. The lead investigator worked tirelessly to locate Erica's grandmother, searching for people with her name in Asheville, but found no evidence of anyone connected to Erica. In August 2013, detectives publicly announced their belief that the story about Erica's grandmother was fabricated. They revealed that Sandy and Casey were not cooperating with the investigation. Around the same time, Erica's biological mother, Carolyn Parsons, flew from New Orleans to North Carolina to assist investigators. On the same day that Casey and Sandy appeared on the Dr. Phil show, claiming that they believed Erica was not Erica's grandmother. On the show, Casey claimed that Erica's grandmother had told her that Erica had refused to return home after staying with her for 2 months. Casey claimed that she had tried to contact Erica's grandmother, but the phone number was no longer active, which she interpreted as Erica blocking her number. Despite her appearance on national television, Casey and Sandy maintained that they had been exemplary parents and insisted that Erica was safe. They denied any wrongdoing and blamed Erica's supposed disappearance on her mother, Carolyn. However, investigators remained skeptical as their story contained glaring inconsistencies. In September 2013, Casey allowed the media into her home and showed them Erica's former bedroom. By this time, the public and authorities had grown increasingly skeptical of Casey and Cy's story, and the search for Erica continued amid growing concern about what might have happened to her after her last confirmed sighting in 2011. Detectives, who worked on Erica Parsons' case, had long suspected that Casey and Sandy Parsons were hiding critical information. Their instincts told them that separating the couple might lead to the truth, as Casey appeared to exert significant control over Sandy, but keeping the two apart seemed nearly impossible until investigators uncovered a crucial mistake. The Parsons had continued to collect adoption assistance and food stamp benefits for Erica, even though she had not been in their custody for 2 years. These federal benefits, intended for Erica's care, became the key to involving the FBI. In 2014, Sandy and Casey Parsons were arrested on 76 counts of federal fraud and identity theft. In March 2015, the couple were sentenced to a combined 18 years in federal prison for their crimes. Despite the convictions, Erica remained missing, but in 2016 a major breakthrough came from Sandy Parsons. After more than 3 years of perpetuating a web of lies, Sandy himself finally confessed, admitting that Erica had died 5 years earlier at the age of 13. Investigators took Sandy to rural Chesterfield, South Carolina, an area linked to Casey's past. The detectives described Sandy's behavior during the confession as somber and tearful. Sandy recounted the events leading up to Erica's death in December 2011. He woke up to Casey telling him that Erica had died. It remained there for 2 days while the couple decided what to do, during which time the family went about their lives, even attending a Christmas party. The couple eventually transported Erica's remains to the Chesterfield County site before burying her. They poured bleach over her body in an attempt to conceal evidence. They removed the batteries from their cell phones during their trips to the burial site, once to dig the grave and a second time to dispose of Erica's remains. After nearly 5 years of concealment, Erica's body was finally recovered. Overseeing the recovery of Erica's remains, he ensured that her dignity was respected in death, something that had tragically been denied to her in life. Erica's remains were placed in a body bag that was left unzipped so that she would no longer be left in the dark. Erica's discovery brought closure to a case that had haunted the community, and she was finally laid to rest with the love and care she deserved. As one investigator put it, Erica received more love from the community than she ever did from her adoptive family. Investigators suspected from the start that Casey Parsons had orchestrated much of what happened to Erica. They withheld the discovery of Erica's remains in 2016, hoping that Casey would confess on her own. When questioned, Casey adamantly denied any involvement. "I was never there," she said repeatedly. Erica's remains told a haunting tale of prolonged and systematic abuse. On October 14, 2016, Erica's remains were sent to the coroner, who spent 3 months meticulously examining her skeleton. The results were devastating. Erica had suffered severe and chronic abuse, with injuries all over her body. Her face, torso, back, and limbs. She had multiple fractures, including broken bones in her shoulder blades and ribs that had partially healed before breaking again. Some of these injuries were consistent with long-term trauma, with new bone growth attempting to form. It was clear that Erica had been subjected to relentless physical violence. Her brother, Erica Parsons, confirmed the extent of the abuse in interviews, recalling that Erica was regularly beaten, often with belts or even remote controls. Friendly reminders, a cruel term used by Casey to describe bending Erica's fingers back until they almost touched her wrist. Erica suffered more than just physical violence. She was systematically starved. Food was withheld for long periods of time. Her growth was so stunted that her bones were the length expected of a 9-year-old. Although she was 13 at the time of her death. This combination of abuse and starvation has been classified as torture, a level of cruelty rarely seen in child abuse cases. Family photographs provide another window into Erica's suffering, while her siblings appear happy and carefree in the pictures. And neglect she endured. The contrast between her siblings' joy and her mistreatment is deeply heartbreaking. On June 18, 2017, Erica was finally laid to rest in a funeral organized and paid for by the Rowan County community. Hundreds attended, determined to give Erica the love and respect she never received in life. On February 20, 2018, Casey and Sandy Parsons were charged with first-degree murder, felony child abuse, and misdemeanor child abuse. Casey finally pleaded guilty on August 2, 2019, admitting to Erica's murder and child abuse. Her statement in court was cold and detached, offering little insight into her motivations. She expressed regret, but showed no real remorse. "I don't know why I did what I did," Casey claimed, adding that "I failed Erica terribly." Sandy also pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and child abuse, but his motivations were different. Both Casey and Sandy remain incarcerated, serving sentences for both fraud and Erica's murder. Casey, currently in a Florida prison, will begin her life sentence for murder in 2024. Sandy, incarcerated in New Jersey, is serving 33 to 43 years for Erica's death and will be eligible for parole at the age of 82. The Parsons' motives remain elusive, but their actions suggest a level of cruelty and neglect that defies comprehension. Erica was treated as less than human, subjected to unimaginable suffering at the hands of those who were supposed to protect her, while her community remembers her and seeks justice. The hope remains that policies and systems will improve to prevent such tragedies from happening again. Erica, now at peace, will not be forgotten. Thanks for tuning in to Unreal True Crime. If you're fascinated by mysteries from around the world, check out our new channel Latin Crimes, where we delve into the gripping true crime stories of Latin America.